Hey guys, EBPMAN here with Tablets for Me. And in this video, I'm going to give you my impression of the Gear VR after using it now for several weeks. So let's take a look at what I like and what I dislike about the Gear VR. So now before going into my likes and dislikes of the Gear VR, there's a couple things I wanted to highlight because I've been seeing some good traffic and questions around the actual use of the devices with the Gear VR itself. I've had some questions about charging, and on the bottom right here, you'll see that there is a charger. That's the charging port right there that you'll use to plug in and charge your phone while you're using it with the Gear VR. Keep in mind that the Gear VR has no power in it whatsoever. Your phone is what powers the VR. So if you want to plug it in, that's something else that you're going to be able to do. Now the other thing I wanted to highlight is, putting your phone into the Gear VR is kind of tricky, and it took me a little getting used to until I finally, got my process down. So I don't have the cover on. I would advise that you have the cover on, but just to show you some of the steps that I take when I'm connecting my phone to the VR. What I tend to do is I find that a two-handed process is the best, and what I'll do is I'll hold it like this and then bring it down, and then I'll place it here, and then as soon as I see that happen, you saw how the screen went black, I know, and you'll hear the audio beep. Once you hear that, then you're able to push it down, and then you just push it down just like that, and then it'll go into the Gear VR mode, and you'll be able to view your content. So that was the other tip I wanted to give you for those of you who are maybe having troubles. The other thing about the VR that I'll just highlight is that I have seen some of you comment that the VR is not playing either your Edge or your Note 5 is not working with your Gear VR. The reason for that is that you need to make sure that you have a carrier update that enables the Gear VR software to work. Literally, as soon as you put it in here, and you don't have to shove it in. You saw how easy I put it on. If your phone has had the update, it will immediately download the Oculus software. So what I would recommend you do is go to your local AT&T, Verizon store, one of those two carriers, T-Mobile store. If they have a Gear VR as a demo unit, plug your phone in to see if your software gets prompted to download the Oculus software. If it doesn't, speak to a representative so that you can get your phone updated, because the updates have been out for quite some time, but your phone may not be registering it. So that's a tip when it comes to that. So now let's focus on overall usability. So now the first thing I'll say is that when it comes to using the Gear VR, it's really important that you have a clear screen. So my screen, if you have fingerprints, if you have grime, it's going to impact the clarity. I know this sounds pretty obvious, but you'd be surprised how many comments or messages I get about this, about the overall quality. And it is a fantastic, I would say outstanding solution, but the quality of your image is going to be based on your screen. And if you're touching your screen a lot, and if you don't clean it, as soon as you put it on, it's garbage, and it's magnified garbage. The other thing is that if you do have a tempered glass screen protector like I do, right? See how I have a tempered glass screen protector? It's inevitable. You're going to see some type of distortion. So I've tried the Gear VR with the glass screen protector on and with the screen protector off, and I can tell the difference where the quality of the image is better without the tempered glass screen protector, because again, you're magnifying it to a degree that's much higher than it is when you're looking at the screen. So am I saying you shouldn't use a tempered glass screen protector? Not at all. What I'm saying is just be aware that there's going to be a degree of distortion, not significant, that's going to be because of your glass screen protector or any kind of screen protector that you have on your phone. Now the other thing, usage. I've run the Gear VR with my phone, and I've done this with an S6, S6 Edge, and also a Note 5. And the usage is pretty much the same when it comes from each one of the device when it comes to battery life. One of the things that I have been finding is that the phone will tend to heat up, and if it warms up excessively, what ends up happening is the system will tell you, and you won't be able to use it for watching video. I have been able to successfully run it for an hour at a time, really not anything more than that. But the phones have warmed up, and this has happened with all of them. The other thing I found that really necessary to do is to make sure, and let me just log into my phone really quick. What I found it necessary to do is that you go into your recent apps and you close everything out. I just find that it works a lot better if you either have done a clean reboot or you have nothing running in the background. And keep in mind that I'm running the Gear VR with my phone connected to my watch. I have my Bluetooth headsets going, so that's a really nice feature. And really having an immersive experience, as well as I'm doing things like watching Netflix, which is like fantastic experience, and very happy with the overall performance. I see no stutter, and I stream things quite often. So, those are just some of the things about the phone in connection to the device, charging, and some of the things to watch out for. So now let's talk about overall experience. I can tell you that I have only one VR in my home, and I have 4 individuals in the house, and I can't get my hands on it. It is that popular. Everybody wants to use it, and what I find, most of the usage I find in my home is individuals downloading movies and content onto their phone and then using the video player to have an immersive experience. So it's not uncommon for me to go into one of my son's rooms and see them with the headset on, headphones on, and then they're watching their favorite movie. They're either watching Netflix. Also now with the internet browser that is now available, it's in beta still, but there's a browser. You can see a total, I would say, a large library of content. Literally everything that's available on YouTube, you can now see through the Gear VR. And you don't need a Gear VR app. You're just doing this through the Gear VR internet browser. So HTML5 content that can be viewed on the phone and run video, you can actually see it through the Gear VR, and that's huge. That was one of the things that, some of the feedback that I got about it, because the content, some people felt that even though Netflix is there, that having internet browsing capability to see anything you want really would open this up. And it has, and it works really well, even though it's in beta. The apps are really good too, and it's really funny because I've been having iPhone users check this out, Android users, and non-Samsung users as well. Samsung users alike check it out, and it's just when people put this on and experience it for the first time, it's undescribable how immersive and how clear the quality of the images are, and the experience is just wow. That's all you hear. Oh my God, wow, how, wow, and it's over and over again. I've actually had a couple friends who do a lot of video viewing who have switched carriers and also phones, have gone either from an iPhone to an Android phone because they love the experience so much and they like the ability to be able to use this for watching movies to the degree that they do. That's kind of a real extreme, but it has happened, so I have 3 accounts of that. The one thing I will say is that this device takes into account your positioning. And one of the things about the positioning is that this device doesn't really work well when it's in a car. So if it's moving, it gets disoriented somewhat. So it's not the best device for that. I tried using this on a plane, and I was able to get some normalcy when using it, but also the same thing happens. So this is not the kind of device, A, that you want to walk with, obviously, even though you can push a control inside of the application that will allow you to see through the camera. So you get like a cyclops kind of view, which allows you to walk around. Not recommended though, but if you're in a car, it's really hard for this to work because of all the movement, and it does notice left, right, up, down, back, because of the gyroscope and everything that's going inside of it to give you that immersive experience. Because when you're watching a movie, like if you were to talk about the Netflix app, which is a great app, and I love it, you are sitting in a theater, you have a coffee table in front of you with a cup of coffee, you can look out a window and you can see it looks like the mountains somewhere, you may be in the Alps, just somewhere there's a lot of ice. You see movie posters. You feel like you're in a room, and literally when I look at the face of the people who take this device off, they are like trying to readjust to the fact that they're no longer in a theater. They're trying to readjust the fact that they're no longer in Italy or in any of the virtual tours that are available. The gaming, it's just hilarious to watch people using their head to play Pong. It's just fantastic. And then that coupled with a remote, which I don't have yet, I'm waiting for the gaming remotes to come in, I think is going to create a great experience. So if you're thinking about something for Christmas and these individuals have Samsung phones, this is a great gift for $99. Definitely, I'd 100% recommend it. The people who get it are going to be, first of all, amazed by the experience, and they're going to be second very appreciative of you giving them such a gift, and it's not that expensive at $100. So all in all, I would say that this is a fantastic innovation coming from Samsung and Oculus. I would highly recommend this for this holiday season. Again, I've told you about what you need to do in the event that you don't see it working with your phone, about making sure that you have the right carrier updates, and overall, I wish I had a couple more so that I can get my hands on this more often. So I hope that helps you with your buying decision and just understanding more about the Gear VR. Unfortunately, it's really hard to explain the experience because you can't do do it any justice even with the video feed, but it is completely immersive. And if you want to know how this works, and you can go to a local cellular carrier, they may have these. You can call and find out. Try it there and you'll see what I'm talking about. But this is something that I'm very excited about and you should check out. So as always, I want to thank you for watching this video, and if you have any comments or questions, leave it in the YouTube channel, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.